What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Redriveraviation. I hope each and every one of you are on a fantastic day today. And today we have a really cool airline collectible item for you all. I really hope each and every one of you are excited for today's video. And without any further delay, let's go ahead and get started, guys. Today we're going to be taking a look at a pictorial history of airline service at Atlanta. This is a really cool book by George W. Cearley Jr. Hopefully I said that right. Sorry if I did not. But anyways, what goes behind this is I got this at the Los Angeles Airline Collectibles Show for a very fair price. This is a really cool book with a bunch of fantastic historical air service at Atlanta through pictures. It's really cool, so I'm excited to take a look at this. We'll briefly look at all the pages and see what it's all about because it's really cool. So there's the front that I just read off the title to you, and then we have the outside of the Atlanta airport, and then we have this gorgeous DC-8 pushed back right here. So again, got a really good price on it. It's a really cool book. If you need this for any sort of project, feel free to take the pages. So looking forward to this. It's going to be absolutely fantastic. And without any further delay, let's just go ahead and get into the book. So I'll move it over to the left here so we can get all the pages. But again, a bunch of really good info. So let's not waste any further time. So it is signed right there, so that's really cool. And then you can see what it's featuring, which is quite nice. And it's a copyrighted 1991 book, so it's been around for a while. So definitely excited to take a look at this. So this will lead up all the way to the 90s from the very beginning in the 1920s. So we'll take a look at all that. So there's a table of contents. Then it really just gets into it. So right here we have some of the very important events. We'll take a look at those all the way throughout the book. But here we go. So there's a bunch of pages, so I'm not going to go crazy in depth. I'm just going to point out what I think is really cool, and in comments you can let me know what you think is really cool. So let's just go ahead and get started. So here's how Atlanta started. You can see what they selected to start the airport. Here's a Ford aircraft that was taken off, so that's really cool. The next page goes into some various detail on those, and then you can see more prop aircraft and some really cool routings that Atlanta had. A bunch of really good timetable information here too. Next page, we get into additional service to Atlanta, some Southern Air Express. You can see the hangars overall was developing well at this time. Eastern Air Transport made their debut, and of course Delta Air Service at that time, which obviously now we know Delta Airlines. So really cool to see all the various components here. So that's quite cool. Next page shows passenger schedules, American Airways. Then you got some various routings through Atlanta, so that's quite nice. The next page has some various timetables. Hello, Florida. You know, you got the tailwheel service. Overall, really cool to see all these various components. Eastern Airlines over there. Here's the right page. You can see some cool interior shots. It really does do a good job going into all the various details, and the author did an S-tier job with that component of this book. Then you can see additional information. I'll try to hold the pages up like that so you can get the light on them. And feel free to pause the read. And again, feel free to comment what points out to you. I'm just pointing out what stands out to me. So looking good on all this. Okay, so here we have some more great additional information over here. We got some more Delta, a cutaway. Wow. So really cool to see all that. And the props, Delta making their moves already at ATL. And again, DC-3 debuts. Actually, this goes along really well with the model that's coming up in a video. Let me see. We got to go get it. It's too good an opportunity. The Delta DC-3, which I got from the same person, which was a volunteer from the Museum of Flight in Seattle, which was quite cool. I thought it would have been somebody from the Delta Flight Museum, but it wasn't. So this is really cool. So kind of cool to put this right next to the actual DC-3 itself, exact same livery, all of it. So I thought this was a really great opportunity. So overall, really cool right there. Anyway, back to what we were reading here. So you can see the various pictures with the unions and all that. So that's quite cool in Delta DC-3. Then we get into our next round of pages. So you can see what's going on through here. So that's quite nice. Really cool Delta hangar right there. I don't know if that's the exact one they still have, but Delta definitely making their moves in this book already. Getting into more Delta advertisements here and their hangars, so it's quite nice. And how I think we had some Navy work going on there, so that's really cool. Then we get into Eastern making their moves. So I really like how these pages are organized. So that's all airline based, so it's quite nice. This is a really cool frame right here of when Delta was really starting to get the DC-3 pushing out of Atlanta. This picture especially is absolutely fantastic. So very happy to see all that in this book. And the Delta C-54 also making its reference. This page is really cool. Kind of similar to the last one, however, we get some more inside pictures on the right here, so that's quite cool. Then over here, you get Eastern. They really obviously were starting to get established by this point. So you have a DC-4 and some other various aircraft. And the text really does a good job. I'd recommend reading it, but just for the sake of this not being 15 hours, because it would take quite some time to read this all. I'm just obviously giving you the highlights from my perspective. More Delta over here. This interior picture is really cool. So that all looks really nice. Here's another really good shot there. Detroit getting a little bit of establishment there as well. In Eastern Delta kind of mixed up pages. Really cool DC-6 cutaway in here. You also have that beautiful Delta DC-6 inaugural, which is quite cool. And really cool to observe the dressing at the time, so that you can see Elizabeth Taylor, the actress, right there off the DC-3, and the really cool advertisement for the DC-3 in the top left corner of that page. Here's some more cool ones, and all the way to California now with the San Francisco service from Dallas. So that's really cool. And you also get the LA and San Diego, of course, very important cities at this point. For reference, we are starting to get into the 40s and 50s. Capital Constellations, that was really cool. Nonstop between New York and Atlanta, so that's really cool. I hope this guy's done more books too. I'd love to get some more to add up to this collection. Miami, Denver, Miami, Kansas City, quite cool. This is a really cool shot right here. You can see how the airport runways were structured. That's certainly changed, but hey, it's still really cool to see. It looks like Oklahoma City and Tulsa both getting in right here for Eastern Airlines Braniff Airways, so that's fantastic, in 1952. So definitely keep that in mind. So overall, looking very cool. Next page, of course, Atlanta had so much Mississippi, Alabama, Louisiana, South Carolina traffic before airline deregulation, obviously, when they could do all these stops. That's what you just see. They just all stretch throughout, so just all the way down. So that's quite cool to notice. This shot's also really cool with another aerial shot. I can't believe the plane's parked so close. That's so cool. So really cool. And then obviously the various Delta deliveries. There's a Southern Airways aircraft in there too. This page goes into some more Delta detail. The network's really expanded over in the Midwest area, Eastern area, whatever you'd like to call that. So really cool pictures. The interior pictures are also really cool, I think. And again, just a full-on Army. I mean, that's what a hub looks like right there. So you can just see all these pictures, the waiting areas, the baggage areas. It's really cool. The Golden Falcon making its reference here. You can see more Delta DC aircraft. Delta enters New York, which is really cool. DC-7 really carrying at this point. Here's that same concept I was talking about previously down here. KATL Airlines obviously had a pretty solid establishment here, so you can see that. And then another really cool aerial view of the airport. Here's some hangars. Here's appears to be some hangar and gate area. And then, of course, the runway and various taxiways. Oh, this is really cool with this shot right here. That's just a full-on Army, so really cool to see that. Absolutely fantastic, and really crazy to think that we're only a portion of the way through this book. More additional information here. Really cool hallway shots. We haven't seen any of those yet, so that's really cool. And even a night shot, which is really impressive. American DC-7 even in there as well. We have more really cool pictures. This design is so cool. I've seen a couple model airports like this where they have the airplanes lined up in the straight line that they did for a very long time. So it's really cool to see this in the book. So yeah, this is quite a unique design. It's certainly not what I'm used to, so it's tough to relate, but obviously a very unique design to say the least. This is a really cool page with various advertisements for Delta's new services, TWA, obviously the stewardess right there, so that's really cool. How about that Fly Eastern crop jet? That's really cool. Some more really cool Delta Airlines aircraft. DC-8 looks so good, so welcome the DC-8 to service. Then we have some more service announcements, and we're finally getting into a new design here with these, I don't even know what you want to call them, these just outlet jet bridges, I guess. I don't know what the proper phrasing for that is, but it's certainly not what we had previously. So that's quite cool. Tick counter looks good. Overall, this is really cool to observe. Same song, second verse for all this. We even finally getting into some seat maps, which is fantastic. Overall, really good information. Northwest also making their appearance at ATL. More good information throughout here too, which looks really good. More Delta DC-8s taking off, really cool. Oh, Convair, excuse me, we have Convair. That's a really cool cockpit shot. And this is why I really like this book and what this author did. It's not just Atlanta Airport, but it's also pretty much turns into Delta Airlines, but it's applicable because we're looking out at Atlanta. So all the tie-in there is really cool in my opinion. Another really cool shot here showing some various registrations. We can finally start to see those now. And wreckage, unfortunately, very sad. This is a really cool page. Houston getting in on the mix. Still got this really neat design right there. So we got a wide variety of prop aircraft there. And even a little model airport right there, which is quite nice. Really cool airport diagram page. This is really cool. Certainly not even close to what we ended up getting 50 years later, but that's really cool in the 1960s, 6 years later. We even got a signature right there from the author, so that's quite nice. These props are really cool, so you can see all the various lineups of that and how they're structured and organized, and even this takeoff line. So some really cool shots. This page is really cool inside the Delta hangar. That's fantastic to see and how they structured them. So it appears we got a Convair, a DC-8, and a DC-4 maybe? DC-6, sorry. DC-3 even in there too, so that's really cool. And then you can just see them all lined up. It's rather unique. We don't quite get books like this at this time. More great information here. We even got downtown Atlanta before it really got going, so that's really cool. This is a cool satellite picture right there. That's probably the first one they ever did. You can also see more various information here, and finally some a little bit bigger jet bridges at this point, but certainly not what we got today. 720 jets are starting in to Atlanta, which is fantastic. I don't even know what this is, which is quite cool. More great information throughout here as well. Really cool tick counter. Here's what the concourses were looking like at this point. So Delta obviously had E and F, which is quite nice. And then Eastern had B and A. I really like the structure of this. And then more Eastern over here, Capital over here, Northwest TWA. So I guess American's not even here at this point. And this was the future expansion for Eastern, which I don't know why it was A unless they lettered the gates. So I don't know exactly what's going on. But overall, very good. And again, these pictures are really cool. All of this is looking good with the parking lots and whatnot. This is really nice. This is a really cool picture. We're really finally starting to get multiple planes in shots. So it's really cool with the Convairs and DC-8s. So this is certainly in the lectures, of course. Certainly the workhorse of the era. More great timetables. Delta DC-8 United getting their DC-8s in here at long last. Capital in here too. So overall, a bunch of great information there. Southern Airways getting in on the action as well. Looking very good with their various offerings. Here's some more Eastern offerings, so that was quite nice. We have Piedmont Airlines. You can see some more great information in there. Also in here too. This is super, super cool for Southeastern Airlines with all these cities straight in the line. That is really unique. More great information here too. Whisper Jet for Eastern finally debuting, so cool to see that. Pan Am and the United Stars and Bars getting in on the fun. The Whisper Jet certainly is making its references now. Delta finally getting the DC-9, which became a establishment of Atlanta for many years to come. Still to this day, if you want to count the 717. Really cool to see all that going on over there with hybrids of gates with jet bridges and air stairs. Even the Delta C-46, man, it's so goofy, but hey, it works. Delta DC-8s everywhere. DC-9's really getting on the fun. That smile's pretty cool. Then we have a really good shot here with Piedmont and some other various carriers in there as well, and various aircraft types. Here's a really cool shot here. You can see the sun blasting through in the black and white. That's quite nice. There we go. More great information. This is really cool. We're finally starting to get some actually kind of decent jet bridges, but still very unique on that. Delta 747 getting in there. Nice variety of other airlines. Air South getting in. The Eastern Whisper Jet really starting to get in there. This shot's on the back cover in color, which is quite nice. So that's really cool. And then you can finally see all these Delta aircraft lined up, which is really cool. So yeah, just really great. And then let me try to pick this up. There we go. There we go. More great information here. Delta tick counter looks really good. That night shot's really cool. Very unique, very distinctive. This page has some great information in it, so that looks really nice. Trying to keep it from getting shaded, but it's tough with how far back we are. More great pictures back here as well. This one's especially good. New nonstops. Oklahoma City got service on Braniff to St. Petersburg. Very interesting. Huh, I didn't think that would have been a possibility, but there we go. So very interesting to see that for Oklahoma City. We'll see if Tulsa makes their reference here in the future. North Central making their references in here. That's quite nice. And here's a really cool shot of some various routes and network. Republic, of course, had a huge establishment, so of course they are going to be featured in this. More really cool international carriers finally getting in now, so that's really cool. Lufthansa getting in here. At the new Atlanta midfield terminals, so these finally debuted at long last. Very critical going forward. So it looks like they started with 4 island ones in this one, so E and F were obviously built later. This is a really great shot of all these Delta widgets. It's really tough to beat these 2 shots right here. Quite nice. Obviously what we think of now, but you can see all the 727s, DC-9s, and the hub that they've established. Not many regional jets at this time. Of course, there's props somewhere in there, but I'm just seeing mainly 727s, DC-9s, a couple DC-8s, and a couple Elton 11s. Not going to be much help on that page for that topic, but still really good. And then Eastern, of course, operating their variety of Chrome and Westward jets. Republic had their variety there, Piedmont, of course, and then the other various carriers that you'd see at ATL at that time, too. Same song, second verse, but the internationals really starting to kick in. Bahamas Air, KLM, really cool, along with Frontier and some other carriers there. Delta DC-8's looking really nice. This shot's really good. Still no answer on the props. And then this is a really, really great shot right there. It's really cool. And the Delta 767, that's in the Delta Flight Museum right there. Very cool. United had quite a variety of liveries. The Delta 757, 732. American Aviation even made it in there on their inaugural service in 1983. Yeah, that was their first flight, was in 1980. That's crazy that they didn't start serving Atlanta until 1983, because it says American Airlines inaugurated service on this MD-80 registered 6809. It's quite cool. So, I mean, just the attention to detail on this is so impressive. You can see all the various liveries there. There's a really cool Delta preserved aircraft. Yeah, quite a variety here. This is quite impressive. And then a really cool variety of timetables. We got various pictures in here that are quite nice. Swiss Air, Aeromexico, and more Delta aircraft, more Delta timetables. So it really turned into a Delta book, but it's supposed to be Atlanta. Last page before obviously ended was all this various information here and a bunch of index. So yeah, it's a really cool book. And then the back, of course, is probably the best part in my opinion why it was on the thumbnail. We have that colored picture right here. It's super nice before we got the new concourses, that one, and then the Eastern. So I really hope that you all enjoyed this. This is a really cool book and I can't recommend it enough. I'm sure it's available online somewhere. They're probably a little bit tough to come by, but if you are interested in any particular pictures from it or any other information that I can help you with, just feel free to comment below or send me an email or message me on Instagram and I'll send you a picture of any page that you're looking for or equivalent. So I really hope you all enjoyed this. Thank you all so much for watching. Looking forward to the future. We have a bunch of really cool airline memorabilia coming in and I'm very excited to share that with you all. The airline memorabilia is really cool and it's certainly nice and easy to get to cover this on the channel. So if you're enjoying this, feel free to let me know and I'll be excited for the future to come. And why not Delta DC-3 on top just to finish it off. So with all that being said, everybody, that'll do it for today's video. Thank you all so much for watching. I want to thank each and every one of you for watching. My name is Redriveraviation. Take it easy, everybody. Stay safe. Let's process. Do you love and love what you do. My name is Redriveraviation. I want to thank you all so much for watching and I'll see you all soon as Redriveraviation is signing off.